Hey, what's up everybody? If you're struggling against Mai, don't worry, because in this guide we're going to look at some things you can do to beat this character. First thing you gotta know about this character is that her up close light pressure kinda sucks. She's not Cammy. So Mai's up close pressure, she's generally going to be doing one of two strings to you. She's either going to go like light, which kind of like lower level players will do a lot, or she'll do something like crouching light punch, crouching light kick into standing light punch, or end with crouching light punch. I think better players will generally do the crouching light kick at the end. And the reason they do this is so that you can't walk backwards out of her pressure. So you don't really want to walk back right away when Mai's doing those strings to you, because she will catch you if you're always trying to walk backwards. But aside from that, if you as the opponent, if you just block, she can't really do anything because she doesn't really have any safe enders. So if Mai is ending her strings with something like this version of Light Punch Ryuenbu is actually -4 on block. So if you just sit there and wait, boom, that's a punish counter. You can go to a full combo from that. So if you just wait, you'll let Mai players kind of put themselves into a bad position and possibly open themselves to get punished. So I would just say, have some patience on defense when you're blocking her light strings. Another thing that's really good to do against Mai is to push a 6-frame attack after her string ends. The reason for this is she can't really keep up her pressure. Here I'm doing the Light Punch Ryuenbu here. At best, Mai can trade with you. There, and if you do the standing light, because this is -2, standing light punch, you can't even cancel into it. Then, if you do the fan, light punch fan, that loses. Hard punch fan will beat you mashing, but if you just end in hard punch fan, Mai's -11 after this. Alright, so because Mai's -11 on the heavy fan, and that's the only one that'll actually beat you pushing buttons after 3 lights, -11, if you have a good sweep, you can sweep her after that. That's not safe after the heavy fan at the end. Then, what you can also do, if you have a fast super, kind of like my best friend Guile here, Sonic Hurricane, that's a punish too. So if you have a fast level 1 or level 2 or 3 super and Mai's always ending her strings with the heavy version of her fan, you can just block it and blow her up for it. She's -11, so don't let Mai players get away with that. It's really, really strong. Alright, another big thing that I think a lot of people are struggling with in the Mai matchup right now is how to deal with her fan pressure from up close. So a lot of Mai players, they'll get into her standing hard punch range, she'll do standing hard punch, and she'll go into her charged fans, or she'll get into standing hard punch range and go for a regular fan. If you're playing against a Mai player and they're always doing this to you, any version of the charged fan, don't let them get away with this. You can sneak in a drive impact in between that. And Mai's got to hold that. That's a punish counter. Do the drive impact, challenge them on it, make them think a little bit harder than they need to when they're pressuring you. Don't give that up for free. However, if the Mai player is smart, they are going to start to do the light version of her fan uncharged, because the light version, she will have enough time to look at your drive impact and react if done from tip range. If it's done up close, this is a block string and you're not going to be able to do a drive impact in between. But if she spaces it at the tip, you will be able to do drive impact, but she can respond with her own. Alright, so let's look at how to deal with Mai's fans, the charged versions, both in neutral and in the corner, because this is definitely one of her strongest tools. So the first thing you have to know is that Mai has 3 versions of her fans, the light, medium, and heavy, and they all react differently depending on which one she uses. So the light one has a little tiny bounce, and you're not going to have enough time to really move or do anything. This is pretty much a block string. That's a block string depending on the normal she uses. Generally, drive rush standing hard punch, drive rush back hard kick, that's a block string. The ones you really have to be worried about are the medium version, the heavy version, and the OD version. Those are like the 3 scariest ones. So the medium version actually gives her more than enough time to drive rush in and mix you with either crouching light kick, overhead, and throw. So the question is, what do you do? Here, I would advise against trying to perfect parry everything, because if you mess up the parry, you're going to get really punished for that because she can throw you. When I was playing my rank matches, I noticed a lot of players would try to perfect parry this. I just react to the perfect parry attempt. You see them in their parry animation, you drive rush in, and you throw them as Mai. So holding parry here to avoid the high-low mix isn't really the best risk reward. You're going to get blown up pretty bad for that if she decides to go for the throw. However, what you can do is you can actually just do a backdash. So whether it's the medium version of Charged Fan or the heavy version of Charged Fan, you can backdash this. If you backdash it, you're actually going to avoid the second bounce of that fan. And this same thing applies for the OD fan as well. If you backdash and hold back, you are going to be able to avoid the second hit altogether. The CPU here is only doing a single backdash, but if you do a backdash into hold back, you'll be able to avoid the second hit, so don't forget that. And the next tip against her pressure is, this is going to be tricky, but her overhead, it is 20 frames, and 20 frames is like just on the cusp of being reactable. And I know some people in the comments are probably gonna get mad at me for saying that, but like in a tournament on a PS5, on the monitors they use at tournaments, maybe a different story, but I'm just saying if you're locked in on a good PC with a good monitor, this is technically reactable, so I would spend some time in training mode trying to get used to that animation and trying to block on reaction, or trying to perfect parry the overhead on reaction for even more reward. The next thing we have to learn how to deal with Mai is her uncharged fan. So as we all know, her uncharged fan, it's not a great projectile. It loses to other projectiles. It won't even clash. It just completely loses. There's actually some pretty good counterplay we can do to this. So you can drive rush cancel your light attack and then punish Mai for going for this option. So it would look just like that. So yeah, unscaled 5012 damage with Ryu. So if you notice the Mai player is constantly going for the uncharged version of Fan in neutral, be sure to punish them for this. It's a really strong option. Most characters have some variation of this combo. Be sure to practice it with your own character. It's good. It's good. That's a significant way to beat this. Then doing that, if you're able to shut down that fan, you're going to make the Mai player think twice about how they're doing their zoning. And then they're probably going to have to switch to the charged version. Now, if Mai is always going for the charged version, you can jump it. It's pretty susceptible to jumps. So I'm just going to make a recording of Mai doing this. And this one, if you see her charging it, you can actually jump on reaction. Yeah, so she decides not to charge and you try to react to the animation, you're going to get anti-aired. But again, it's kind of a guessing game on both your parts. But just remember the charge version, if you notice the opponent likes to do it a lot, you can react to this animation, jump in, and still have enough time to punish. So it's really important to keep your eyes on the Mai player. Alright, so the next counterplay you have to learn against Mai is learning when to walk backwards out of her pressure. So one of Mai's best tools for getting plus frames is drive rush back heavy kick, because this is +3 on guard. It leaves her in throw range. She can throw you, or she can try to frame trap you with crouching medium punch. Now Mai doesn't have any plus on block normals outside of drive rush, so this is something a lot of Mai players are going to do to you to try to get in, take their turn, and put you into a mix-up. Except drive rush back hard kick is actually not a real mix-up, because if you just walk backwards, you're able to get out of her throw range. So remember, when you walk back, just walk back a second, look for the whiff punish, try to punish it. So yeah, don't forget, if you overuse that option, you always walk backwards, Mai can beat you by doing a crouching light kick after that. So don't overuse that option. However, keep in mind, if she does drive rush light kick, this is also +3, but this leaves her much closer. If she does drive rush light kick into throw, this you cannot walk backwards out of. She will always be in range, and you'll not have enough time to walk backwards out of this throw. So that's a real mix. That you got to hold. The next thing you have to know to beat Mai in this matchup is how she can kind of sequence her pressure after her B&B mid-screen. So after this combo, generally Mai's going to dash up, she's going to be +9, and then it's just a guess. It's kind of like Cammy's medium kick spiral arrow. Same kind of idea. She's either going to walk up and throw you, walk up and shimmy you, or walk up and do a meaty, and she's generally going to meaty with back heavy kick or crouching light punch or standing light punch. That's really all she has. Now, out of all those options, the only plus on block situation that she can create off of this is from back hard kick. And it's only +1 outside of throw range. So she doesn't really get much off of this mid screen. So just remember, you don't have to do like delayed throw tech here, because she has to walk in to throw you. So after this sequence, this is a great place to try to do a fuzzy jab, because if you do a fuzzy jab, or a delayed jab as some people will call it. There, so if Mai tries to walk in and throw you from that, she's only +1, she's far away. Doing a fuzzy jab, delayed jab, pretty good idea there. That shuts down her ability to walk in and throw you. Also, you don't really want to mash right away. If you mash a light punch right away, you can get frame trapped. Let's take a look at what that looks like. So you definitely don't want to mash right away. You're going to want to delay your pressure, at least by a couple of frames, just to make sure she can't walk in and throw you, or get like easy frame traps. Then she'll push herself out of range, and then you're back into neutral, and then you can play the game there. So just don't mash right away after that sequence. Then in the corner, same thing. She's only +1, so but she's out of throw range. So again here, a great time to do a fuzzy jab. She ever does any combos that ends with the quarter circle forward light kick. There you go, you get a counter hit, then you get a full combo off of that. So make sure you practice that sequence. Make sure you shut down Mai from doing that. Don't let her get those free walk-ins against you. Now, next thing, the one thing I know everybody wants to know is how to deal with her pressure in the corner. So, throw loop pressure, here's how it works. It's gonna your options after this is gonna depend on your character. Some characters get more or less reward. Here's how it works. Okay, first thing. Immediate forward dash, she's +3. She can throw you, it's a meaty throw. She can walk back to shimmy, or she can frame trap you. If you go for a backdash and she does immediate throw, she's gonna be at worst -4 if her timing was perfect, which means you get a guaranteed punish counter jab after that. So if you think she's gonna throw, doing a backdash isn't a bad idea here. But you can still lose to Mai doing pressure like this. And then this happens and you take 3,200 damage, you're into the same mix-up over again, and then, you know, you guess wrong. But just keep in mind that backdash is an option. This is Street Fighter 6, third loops are a thing, and there's no actual perfect counter to it, but you have to know what options you do have. And showing the Mai player that you have a backdash option is really good because it's going to force her to either go for meaty attacks, which you can beat by either blocking or attempting a perfect parry, or she's going to have to delay her pressure, which will make her lose to you doing attacks into drive rush. Let's go from there. So let's say you are the defender, and you've already shown the Mai player that you like to backdash. And you punish her. Next time she puts you into the corner, she might be thinking, oh, this guy always likes to backdash, so I have to go for a meaty attack to beat him. So the Mai player might do something like this. Into back heavy kick. But if you do nothing and you just block and she does back heavy kick, then she's going to be -1. Which that would be a good opportunity for you to mash, do something like a crouching light punch, try to walk in for a back throw if she blocks because she knows she's -1. That's something really good to do there. Or what you can do is you can do a crouching medium kick into drive rush. So there, you go for the meaty. The Mai player thought you were going to backdash, tried to beat your backdash with back heavy kick. But you waited, you blocked it, she's -1, so you do something like crouching medium kick, drive rush, throw into the corner. Now, if your opponent has really good defense, if my player's good at playing defense, they'll be able to kind of play around that, but that's one thing that you can show to your opponent that you know how to beat them. So just remember to layer your defensive options. Remember the basic fundamentals of defense and throw loop pressure in the corner. This is a really complicated, detailed discussion. There are many layers to this. If you want to know more about it, check out this video I have here where I talked in depth about what Mai can do in the corner. But basically every character kind of has some variation of the same options. So if you want to learn more about corner pressure, what you can do as the attacker and what you can do as the defender, check out that video here. Then 2 last tips I want to give you against this character. Her dive kick, it's not really that good. It's not like Cammy, she can't make it plus, but generally at best it's -1 if she hits you right at the toes. Now, Mai knows it's -1, so what a lot of players will do is they'll block it and then they'll try to do a crouching jab or a throw immediately after blocking. While that is a good idea, I think Mai gets so much reward after doing her level 1, even on block, that what a lot of my players will do, and even I did it week 1, I had a lot of success with this online. You go like this, and then you just let the level 1 rip. That's what a lot of my players I've seen start to do lately. So let's set Ryu to do a crouching light punch right away. No delay. And then Mai steals her turn back. So just remember, when Mai has 1 bar of super, they might go unhinged and they might just let it rip, especially if they have lots of health and you don't have much drive or super meter, because that risk reward is actually in her favor even if you block it and punish her afterwards, because she still gets her flame power up after that. So remember, after this, she's -1. Don't always push a button right away. I would suggest doing a delayed throw tech here sometimes, just to kind of prevent yourself from getting hit by that really YOLO option. Alright, and the next one that I want to show you guys. I'm not sure how many of you watching are active on like Twitter, Reddit, or Discord and you see lots of tech, but Mai has this setup that's been going around lately where she does this, and she quote-unquote safely activates level 1 because it locks you in. I saw some really good tech about this. This isn't my tech. I can't take credit for it. I'm going to show you guys right now. Okay, I'm going to absolutely butcher this name, farajeh. I hope I'm saying that properly. If I'm not, I greatly apologize. This is his anti-Mai quote-unquote safe Level 1 activation tech. Basically, you just do a drive reversal and then you drive rush after blocking these fans. So let's make it full screen. Let's take a look.
Basically, what you will want to do is that into level 2, and then you can get a DP or level 1, because you'll be in the corner basically.
Shoutouts to farajeh for coming up with this really good tech. If you guys haven't followed him yet, check him out. I know he's been doing YouTube and he's got some really good YouTube videos. So shout out to fellow content creator. He's got a ton of really good Street Fighter 6 defense, offense, mental. Check those videos out. Great player, great content. If you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something, don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button because it helps me as a content creator and lets me make more videos like this in the future. And as always, thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!